For government officials from Los Angeles to Seattle and beyond, 2020 was the year that political protests literally came home to roost. Demonstrators repeatedly ditched traditional venues, such as government buildings and big commercial streets, to chant, fulminate and sit in outside the front doors of officials including Los Angeles Mayor Garcetti, Seattle Police Chief Carmen, former Los Angeles County Dist. Atty. Jackie Lacey and the county's Director of Public Health, Barbara Ferrer. When Sacramento's mayor and city manager got the same treatment in 2020, the city responded like many of its peers nationally, quietly letting the protesters have their way, in the hope of avoiding violent encounters with police. That approach ended on the last Sunday of March in California's capital, at a planned protest outside city manager Howard Chan's suburban home. It triggered a massive police response and denunciations from civic leaders, business organizations, a statewide federation of civic officials and even civil rights groups. "No more," said an open letter signed by Mayor Darrell Steinberg, his 8 fellow city council members and about 60 other individuals and organizations. A small group of people willing to embrace violence to advance their ill-defined agenda cannot be allowed to put our city leaders and their families at risk in their homes. Protest at City Hall, not outside someone's bedroom. The subsequent protest drew only about 30 people and petered out without any serious confrontation. None of the demonstrators, upset at the city manager's handling of police abuses and winter sheltering of homeless people, were arrested. Chan's home went undamaged, in contrast to a February rampage in which police said demonstrators tore up Steinberg's front yard, pelted his door with rocks, trashed a garden sculpture and stole a security camera. Over the last year, groups on the left and right have taken protests to officials' front steps, targeting not just thick-skinned career politicians but more obscure appointed bureaucrats. Last year, conservative anti-mask protesters showed up at the home of Dr. Nichole, Orange County's chief health officer, displaying a banner depicting her as Adolf Hitler. The doctor resigned days later. In Sacramento, the more restrained outcome outside Chan's house felt like a victory to the city's establishment, allowing reasonable dissent and perhaps taking a small step toward restoring a more traditional notion of what constitutes the public square. Yet friends of the protesters called it an overreaction and said, home visits will remain a tool in their arsenal. Skyler Henry, a Sacramento musician sympathetic to the Sactivists, said two-faced public officials are fair game for such tactics, whether they are city managers or Senator Kyrsten Sinema, a moderate Democrat from Arizona who recently voted against a minimum wage increase. You should be terrorized for the rest of your life.